Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope. I almost forgot what I was supposed to say. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so we have the Four of Cups, which has everything to do with luxury and often to do with emotional fulfillment, okay? We have the cups, which are the water element, and the water element is very much in line with emotional things, right? Our emotions, our psyche, our imagination. All right, let's take a look and see what's going on here. Now, we have a couple of pyramid shaped things. Now, we have the large pyramid here, you can see, okay, right there. And we have one over here, you can kind of see. This one even looks like it has legs. It's kind of like pyramid meets Baba Yaga, like her cool little cabin with the chicken legs. Here, this is the big one. I mean, it's not in size, but this is the one I really wanted to look at. I saw it immediately and I thought, oh my goodness. So we have the all-seeing eye. It's a pyramid. This one is missing the capstone. It seems to be down further over here. Okay, so here's the eye. There's also a smaller pyramid right here. So if you can think of like on the dollar bill, right? There's that pyramid, it has the eye on it. This is the all-seeing eye. This has become kind of a, well, I think people often relate this to the Illuminati or Masonry or, you know, these kinds of things. I don't want to invoke those names necessarily, right? But as a symbol, apart from all of that, this is back up a second. This is an awakening. Okay, this is the road to enlightenment. This is with eyes to see, right? This is an indicator that your life, your life's work, your magnum opus, right? Your many great works put together into this beautiful, beautiful legacy. And it is all represented in this image. This image is the eye of the grand architect. Or, you know, other people might call it God or even, I mean, I guess probably more related to if you know who Enoch is or Metatron. It is an image that represents the divine and the awakening of a physical being, right? And this is kind of like, well, the two of discs flowing up and flowing down, right? As above, so below, so within, so without. And for me, when I see the all-seeing eye, and I'm not freaked out, I'm not freaked out by it. It indicates to me that this is a person or, you know, an idea that is very much related to a relationship with God, Hierogamos, or the sacred marriage, agape, okay? Only through our relationship with the divine can we open that third eye, right? Now, the divine can be so many things. In fact, and I love this quote, or well, it's not the actual quote. I kind of just, you know, I put it in my own words a little bit here. But the quote is, or the idea of the quote is, there are as many roads to God or the divine or the sacred, the mystery, as there are souls or beings on earth / the universe. I like to expand it a little bit, right? The original one's about earth. God, as many roads to God as there are beings on earth. But I like to expand it because it should be more inclusive than that, right? And I believe that 100%. Each of us has our own unique experience of reality, of life, of the interior. And so what makes sense to me might not make sense to you, and vice versa. And that's okay. Actually, that's what's beautiful about life, in my opinion. So I see this and I'm of the belief that you are somebody who has put your awakening, your relationship with the divine as the main priority. Okay. Now I want to look. We have an hourglass. Yes. Okay. So we have this hourglass right here. You can see. Okay. Now we also have a person here who has a scythe. Okay. And another person following behind. And within the hourglass, we also have, it looks like, I almost see a person kind of like it almost reminds me of like an offering. Probably an offering. And let's look down here really quick. We also have the number 2 and the letter B, 2B. We also have a 2 right here. So 2 seems to be a repeating number that is important for this next period of time. And speaking of time, or chronos, we have Saturn, or the archetype of death, right? We all know the image of like the skeletal being with the long staff and scythe on it, or sickle, and this is I think it's derived probably from one of the old gods, right? I like to think of it as Saturn, because Kronos and Saturn, who are the same, have been depicted holding. Kronos is the keeper of time, okay? So is, right, death. And of course, Saturn is a harvest deity. And so what does that mean? Often pictured with a sickle or a scythe, which is like that rounded kind of knife that they cut grass with. And so I'm looking at this, and to me, it is kind of maybe a time in your life where you have been meditating on your mortality. And I'm going to be honest, this has been in a couple of readings lately. Actually, I think yesterday I did a reading that had a similar kind of energy as far as death and the meditations upon it. Now, one of my favorite, and what I think is probably one of the more interesting Buddhist motifs is, I want to look it up. I'm looking it up as I'm saying, just to make sure that I want to call it the right thing. And so basically, it is about death awareness, but it is also about the meditation of quite literally what the body goes through as one transcends, and what happens, what does the body kind of do as it deteriorates. It goes through a period of dissolution, right? It's kind of returning back into more subtle properties and being dispersed into other things, right? And so I'm looking at this and I feel like, there's really this attention to those kind of night side places, to the borderlands, to that place in between, where I believe you have easy access. Where, you know, for some people, they never in their life even think about this stuff at all, right? Obviously, they're just, you know, they're maybe not, they've not been exposed to it. It's not something they really care about, or, you know, whatever. But some of us, right, we spend a lot of time in these in-between places, having visions, dreams, divination, magic, you know, a lot of different things within religious systems, even the Abrahamic religions. Really, I'm thinking, I'm sorry. I was looking at this, it just transported me for a second. And I'm thinking, you know, there's just, and what is it? A feeling of losing grasp of something. It's like when you've worked towards all of this stuff, right? These goals, these dreams, these desires that you've had, and you've worked so diligently towards them, and finally getting them into place. And I almost get this feeling of like I'm seeing it, it's there, and I turn my head, and then I turn back around, and it's all not destroyed, it's just different. It looks different. It looks different. And I feel like for you, it's just a sense of not feeling, it's almost like a feeling of I'm in the wrong place. I don't know how I ended up here. I don't know what this is. It's like if you woke up in a different house, right? Like it's pretty much your house, but it's not. Like maybe the colors are different, or, you know, everything's switched to the opposite side or whatever. But it's like a bizarro land. And I feel like that has been kind of lingering. Like this feeling of something is just not as it should be. And I feel like this is what's bringing up kind of this restlessness, these thoughts of what, you know, what is the rest of my life going to be like? Will I end up achieving the things that I really want to? The ones that I have already achieved, does this really mean anything? It feels like an impending existential crisis. And I'm sorry to say that, but that's really what it feels like. But here's the thing is, as a Cancer, you live often in a place of contemplation. So this, I don't think, is so drastically different. But what is different about this go around is I feel like you are ready to change some things. So I feel like as you are really maybe like thinking like, how many more years do I have? The years that I do have, what can I do with those years? You know, how am I feeling? What are my limitations? This and that. And I feel like there is that spark. There is that spark, and there is that want, and there is a drive. Not to like, I'm not saying it's like you have to go change everything about yourself or your life or whatever, you know. No, it's not that. But there is a real force, I feel, like a fire burning in you. Knowing that life is so fleeting. And you have now. That's it. Now. And now. and now, right? It's just a single moment. A lot of them strung together though, right? But there's no going back, and you can't force the future. So right now, and I see you really in this place of, I'm going to change. I'm going to change some things. I'm going to rearrange this life a little bit. Because whatever has happened, and I don't know, there's a person in a car down here. You can see kind of the wheels and the front of it, and the person's kind of sitting and going that way. And oh, look, now there's two people. It goes from here, where there's just the one, and their hands over here, like on the wheel. And then it turns this way, and then I can see there's two people, 1, 2, holding on to each other. It's almost like they're riding a bike together. And then above it, right, where their heads are at, look, it looks like a creepy clown with a key for an eye. Weird. But yeah, I kind of feel like there was like a car accident or something. Somebody in your family, somebody you were close to, I feel like there was a car accident. And we have the number 13. 13. And I'm wondering if this is kind of, I don't know if somebody was very injured, or maybe somebody passed away. But more than that, I don't know. But I'm saying that, and I look right here, and it says no. N-O right there. N-O. No. So maybe not. But I feel like it was like a wake-up call. That's what it feels like, a wake-up call. And really, yes, thinking about your life and where it's at. And are you living the way that you really want to live? Are you honoring your authentic self? I don't know. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. We go back and forth, don't we? I know I do. Absolutely. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm living my best life, honoring my authentic being. And other times I feel like I don't know what the heck I'm even doing at all, right? I'm self-sabotaging. I'm choosing against myself, all these kinds of things. But that doesn't last forever, hopefully, right? We become aware and we decide, okay, now it's time to shift things around again, right? And so I feel like this is a big moment of, yes, I got to do something. Because you have so much talent. You absolutely have so much talent and ability to do something with that. Now we also have the number 668. Actually, it looks like 6689. Yeah, 6689. It kind of, I keep changing. Every time I look at it, I'm like, 6. This one now kind of looks like a 7, 8. And then the 9 is this one right up here. So it does kind of look like 6, 7, 8, 9. But I'm going to go with 6689. So we have this figure up here. And I feel like there's such an anxiety from a female energy in your life. And then there on the other side, there's another female energy in your life who has birds. You can see right here, there are birds. This is the one with anxiety. This one gives me anxiety over here. This one right here, you can see the head. There's the body, kind of the back end right there. We have a bird right here with the wing and the wing. It looks like maybe a goose or a duck. And then we have another bird kind of right here. Okay. And so this person feels very grounded, centered, and the birds indicate to me that they are receiving messages, both from the natural world, the psychic world, and yeah, probably through the divine. I think that this is somebody who is a very advanced medium, or, well, medium and psychic probably, but also a devotee of whatever their relationship with the divine is. They're very in tune. They live the lifestyle. They absolutely, from head to toe, morning to night, it's always about, spirit, basically. But this person over here, I feel like it's almost like, oh my gosh, like a mother figure that is not nagging, but just constantly worrying about stuff, calling you up, going on and on. I'm worried about you. You need to do this. You need to do that. And, and then they're worried about their stuff. They're worried about the neighbors. They're worried about the kid down the street. They're worried about, their ex-husband. They're worried about, their estranged sister. It's just constant, just a lot. It feels like turmoil. It feels like a big ball of yarn that's in a huge knot, and it's right sitting in your heart space, right? I don't know that it's yours, but theirs. That's what they feel like. That's the energy they give off. And I think that, you have empathy, but this gives you so much anxiety that you avoid the situation. Talking to them, answering their phone calls, all of that. This person over here who feels less like a mother figure, more like an auntie maybe, or a grandmother, or, somebody within the family who had a little bit more of a not casual, but they're not your primary caretaker, at least most of the time. And I feel like this is a person who could relate to you as a human being. When you spoke, they spoke to you like you were a person, not a child, or, incapable of understanding. They didn't do the baby talk with you immediately. As soon as you were, out, little bundle of joy, they were speaking to you like a worthwhile and spiritual being, which you are, right? And so I feel like you have such a strong relationship and bond with this person. And I feel like at times there can be a little bit of stress because the anxiety mother figure feels like there's a lot of jealousy around your relationship with other female caretakers. And this might be super old news, and you're like, wow, this hasn't been a thing for 30, 40 years, Lenor. Well, I can understand that, but these things, they are written in us, right? They are part of our stories, of our histories. And a lot of times, yes, they do affect the way that we have relationships with other people. Okay, so I feel like this is something that was very, it reshaped you because of this kind of almost feeling guilty for being so close with this person because you wanted to honor your mother figure and be devoted to them. But they're not showing up with the same energy for you. They're just angry that somebody else could have that kind of close relationship with you. And, that's not helpful for anybody, really. But I feel like there's an underlying anxiety around this that kind of pops up sometimes. And, I think that this could all be in line with thinking about your mortality. And I don't know about you, but when I start thinking about, I'm getting old, I feel like, an ancient being. I do. I will start to go over some of the stuff of my past, and it does. It brings up a lot of stuff, and so Yeah, I could see how this would really affect you. But I also wonder, if these people have passed away, or maybe that one or the other is still very active in your life. And I feel like these are kind of, I mean, they're your guardians, right? And after they transcend, they're still with you. And the anxiousness, yeah, that energy, hopefully hopefully that dissipates. But I feel like for you, there's no question. You still love your mother, of course, right? And even with the anxiousness and whatever her attachment style, which probably is a little bit in conflict with yours, or your love language, or however you like to call, you still are able to see past all of that, right? And so, yes, I see that this connection is so very important. Now, we also have the Sacred Heart, which is an image of agape. It is the heart that is a flame for the divine, or more specifically, because it is a symbol within Christology or Christianity, but really more in Catholicism. And it's a beautiful image. And it represents that burning love for that deity, for that, Jesus in this case, and the Holy Spirit, and God the Father. But, it can also be representative of any kind of divine love, really. And so again, it reiterates to me that you are very much on this spiritual journey, and you are not going to be veering off anytime soon. This is it, right? This is the life's work for you. Okay, so it looks like we have LOS, loss. We have 611. We have a person in a sled. We have a person praying. We have a fire, like a campfire. I feel like there's this calling almost to like your childhood religion, the religion that you grew up in. And I don't know if you still partake in that, or if that's something that, you just kind of went a different way, or maybe it was something that was somewhat traumatic for you. But I feel like at this time in your life, there's kind of this like wanting to go back over and kind of look at it again with these developed eyes, right? With that all-seeing eye. But I think that there's kind of there's something beautiful about growing up around something, rejecting it, and then as you get older, not that you're gonna fully embrace it, and maybe you will, I don't know, but to be willing to kind of explore the actual system, maybe not the super, like the human aspects, the social aspects, but the actual teachings and the practices, the tenets and the rituals and all these kinds of things. And I can feel you being drawn into that in these next few months. Maybe allowing yourself to kind of look over that without without judgment maybe, but also without the pressure of feeling like I have to either reject this thing or I have to join it. It doesn't have to be either of those, you know, but I think that this is kind of a place for a little bit of exploration. Now, we're going to do 3 lucky numbers. 3 lucky numbers. We have number 80. Oh, no, don't go with it. Okay. There we go. Number 80, number 96. These are some high numbers today. Okay, what is this one? 48. All right, 48. I'll take it. Okay, and then we will do our Mary Magdalene Oracle cards. These are from Megan Watterson. I'm just going to flip through and stop where it feels right. And it says, the 4th power, I am beloved. I am beloved. All right, Cancer, I'm going to tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, helps the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. Also, if you'd like to leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. And other than that, I guess we'll talk in a few days. All right. I love you. I love you. I love you. And good night.